What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some news we need to be talking about concerning the One Piece trading card game. So let's start off having a look at a very unusual Zoro card. And the reason this is such an unusual Zoro card is because it's only for China. Yeah, there was a Bandai Card Fest over in China, and they went and revealed this Roanoa Zoro. And it is awesome, and I kind of love it. And it's Zoro, you know, going back with a nice beverage, which, of course, if you've read the manga, watched the anime, you will know is somewhat of a theme, and eating a bunch of, well, onigiri. It's kind of lovely, honestly. It's kind of lovely. Here's the thing, though. Don't expect to get this in English. Do not expect this to appear anywhere other than China. And I've taught business for many years. I'm sure I've mentioned it many times on this channel. And one of the things I like to say in business is that the best way to predict a company's future behavior is to look at their past behavior. Well, we had exclusive Chinese Luffy. We had that. That was a thing. It happened a while ago. But we did get an exclusive Luffy in China. Might even have been last New Year, you know. But regardless, there was an exclusive Luffy, which was only for China. You already know we didn't get this. And it was an alternate art, and it wasn't terribly important, and it wasn't terribly special. It didn't matter that we didn't get it, but we didn't get it. And I think that's the important thing to note here. That card never showed up. We never got it. And honestly, as I've told you before, don't expect to ever get this card. That Luffy was a Chinese exclusive, which has remained a Chinese exclusive, and that, I would imagine, would be the case here with Zoro as well. And let's, of course, not forget the Nami box, which I've honestly described as the best One Piece TCG product yet. I've not seen anything at all which has dissuaded me of that opinion, which, interestingly enough, did actually have an alternate art Zoro, which is exclusive. If anyone hasn't figured it out yet, of course, it's a free cost 5,000 power Roanoa Zoro. So we are, of course, talking about the one from Starter Deck 1, which was a designated super rare for what it's worth. It's got the border and the foiling and all of that. We got a new version of that, which is interesting, of course, because the other Chinese exclusive was the OP01 Rush Zoro, which is a better card. I mean, look at, deck lists. Since this game came out, it's clearly seen a ridiculous amount more play, but I mean, look, it's still an exclusive Zoro, and it's still an interesting card, don't get me wrong. Don X1, you gain 1,000 power. So essentially, you put one Don on, and instead of gaining 1,000 power, you gain 2, end up as a free cost 7,000 power. That's not nothing. But we've now got 2 exclusive versions in China. But like I said a minute ago, the Nami box hasn't found its way over here. It might. But I think at this stage, it's not likely to. And also, if you look at the Nami box, you've got kind of Nami in traditional Chinese dress there. It's everything is screaming, hi, we made this for China, all right? Don't expect it over here. We had the Luffy, which was clearly a Chinese New Year Luffy last year. And then we've got a clearly similar kind of thing here with Zoro celebrating and drinking and eating. And this is going to be a Chinese exclusive. And at this stage, I mean, I get questions from a lot of people about collecting One Piece. What would make a cool collection? What can I do to make my collection stand out? And I'm telling you right now, it ain't easy, but these Chinese cards are going to make a very nice old art collection someday. We've already got the New Year Luffy. Now we've got this Zoro. We've got the Nami box as well. This is all adding up to a decent amount of cool Chinese cards. And look, I don't think it's a controversial statement at this stage to say, I'm pretty sure this is going to keep happening. Like, if nothing else, every new year it looks like we're going to get another one of these. Like, we've had Luffy, we've had Zoro. I mean, come on. Probably fair to assume we're going to get another one next year. I don't actually know. I cannot actually say for certain. But it's one of those things where, like I say, if you want to know what a company's going to do, look at what they have done. And you know what? They did New Year Luffy last year, and they've now done New Year Zoro. They're probably going to do one next year. If anybody's wondering, this was almost exactly a year to the day. It was, 5 days. This was 5 days early Otherwise, it would be a year to the day. So late December, they showed us New Year Luffy last year. End of December, they showed us New Year Zoro this year. Expect this to be a thing. Expect this to keep happening. Something else which is apparently going to keep happening is Bandai opening more One Piece TCG stores. Now, they've gone and announced one is opening in Gifu. And look, I am aware that the vast majority of you are not going to be going to this store. Mostly because, although I have some viewers in Japan, weirdly, it is very much a minority. But also, as much as I would love to think you're all going to be heading out there very soon, most of you probably aren't going to be heading over to Gifu anytime soon. Which is very upsetting, but that's the way it is. Now, I've taken the liberty of whacking it into Google Maps for you, just so you can see where Gifu actually is. And you might notice that, well, look, when most people go to Japan, they head over to Tokyo, because that's where kind of most of the cool stuff is. They go to Kyoto, which is, got all your old school shrines, etc. And then Osaka, because that's where Universal is. And you'll see that Gifu is actually not that far from Kyoto. It's there and abouts. But make no mistake about it, I'm willing to bet that most people, even when they visit Japan, are not going to stop off in Gifu for a little bit of a day trip. Because it's not one of the places in Japan that everybody tends to visit when they go. A little bit sad for Gifu, honestly. But that's not really the point here. See, the point is that with that opening, we've actually got quite a lot of One Piece stores in Japan now. We have 11. We've got one in Sapporo, 2 in Tokyo, 1 in Ikebukuro and 1 in Shinjuku, 1 in Yokohama, 1 in Gifu, 1 in Kyoto, 1 in Osaka, 1 in Hiroshima, 1 in Ehime, 1 in Hakata, and 1 in Okinawa. If anybody's wondering, I did go to the 2 in Tokyo, I did go to the 1 in Yokohama, I did not manage to get to the 1 in Kyoto, which is a little bit sad, but I did get to the 1 in Osaka and the 1 in Hakata, so I have been to a bunch of these when I went to Japan in August. But that doesn't really matter either. It's actually sad I went to Hiroshima and did not get to go to the One Piece store, which made me very, very sad. But the point, and to Kyoto as well, but the point is they are opening more stores. This shows a card game. I did a video a couple of weeks ago saying how well the One Piece TCG is doing, and it is doing phenomenally well. That's why we've opened somehow 11 of these, and there's a couple in the UK, and there's a couple in the US, and there's no reason to believe they're going to stop soon. If this card game is not doing as well as it is, we don't get this. We don't get these random stores opening up unless the card game is doing as well as it is. So this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news going forward. And look, I've seen card games struggle and fail. I've also seen card games flexing. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. These card games are flexing. One Piece is flexing right now. Having exclusive Chinese New Year promos, opening its 11th store in Japan. This is a card game which is going, hey, look how well I'm doing. It really is. I'm going to finish on a bit of a sad note, unfortunately. It's kind of non-news, but it's relevant non-news, and that is that there is going to be a release event for EB01. That is to say, the Memorial Collection. There is not going to be anything in terms of exclusive promo. They are giving away that Fishman promo I've shown you before. They are giving away that cool special Don, which we've seen before, but there's nothing actually new going on here. And yes, this is relevant because when they had their release events in August for, I believe it was OPO4, when I was out there, that was where we saw the first occurrence of the Akira Igawa Luffy. And the Sabo as well. They were new then. So yeah, that was actually super relevant. And it's the kind of thing where now I go, oh, hang on a second. Nah, that was a limited battle they did for OPO4 and it was awesome. But they're not doing the same thing for the Memorial Collection. They're doing a release event. They've got some swag available. But yeah, that Hody promo we'll get at some point in the not too distant future. That'll just be like a pirate party promo. We have every so often they change it. There's one just kind of generic promo that they give away for kind of entry level events. That's what it is in Japan right now. We'll get it in the not too distant future. Hey ho. Right. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Are you going to be hunting down these Chinese cards? Do you want to do a little bit of a trip around Japan, going to different One Piece TCG stores? I will say I went to a bunch of them, and they are all awfully similar. And how excited are you that the One Piece TCG is crushing going into the new year? Let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.